Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, a special welcome to you who are here. So I'm getting this sort of well up of curiosity and anticipation because this lunar eclipse season has been heavy. It has been emotional. It has put people into a position where they have to start reconsidering what kind of relationships they want to have around them. And this has put a lot of pressure on people who've been ignoring the red flags. So I want to check on the divine masculine to see how it is that they are responding to this particular, this very specific full moon lunar eclipse, which will be in the sign of Pisces. I've already channeled something in anticipation of what you can learn and expect from this eclipse season. But I want to have a look at the divine masculine who's still struggling with a sense of awakening. So I want to see who could be guiding the masculine at this time. We do have the awakening presence of El Moira. The universe is with you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. I do want to cut um because the masculine doesn't feel protected right now. They still feel like it's up to them to protect their family, to protect their assets. I feel like the masculine, they're a little bit hyper vigilant, but I'm getting the sense that a few of them are a little bit worried and scared at this time. Radha, soul flame. Discover a lost part of yourself, experience relationship harmony and healing. The masculine is actually feeling the absence of the feminine, and it's like they've been, I feel like they're sort of cornered. What's at the top over here? Mother Mary, love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. Okay. So a lot of them are going through a lot of feminine healing because Radha is a twin flame counterpart, and I can't remember who her counterpart is, but there's something about the fire is burning from within, and it's this, it's like an old memory that is cropping up to the surface for the masculine. They feel as though they've let their mothers down, or that they have let down their ability to show kindness and nurturance. They have been looking way too much for validation from their outside circumstances, but I really do feel as though they're trying to seek out forgiveness. And I think a few of you who hail from the divine feminine side of things, I think you guys have been anticipating maybe an apology from this person. Maybe they'll see the light. But there's something about the divine masculine that they don't understand how to embody peace and love because they still think they need to be right about a situation. They've driven themselves so far in a particular direction that they haven't created any kind of flexibility within their life to embrace change. The masculine feels as though change change might be inevitable. They know that within the core of their soul. However, they're doing everything that they can to keep the structure up because they created the structure based on pain, based on a self-inflicted lie, but they also think this is the only way they're going to be able to maintain their peace. So let's have a, I want to grab some cards here, do the card of message. I feel like the masculine, they are getting signs and synchronicities, but I think it's more that they're getting inundated with information. For any of them that are still really drawn towards social media. They hate what it is that they are seeing. There are a lot of things going on within the media that are upsetting. It could be triggering. And the media, especially within the United States, is stuck with a lot of speculatory stories. And a lot of people are sort of dogpiling onto trying to fill in the gaps because it's as though there's this silence and people are very uncomfortable with silence. And it's like the universe is trying to show the masculine that they can find the answers in the silence within the in between, but then they keep going back to their habits, even their childlike habits, because a lot of these masculines really struggle with Peter Pan syndrome, never wanting to necessarily grow up. In some ways, I can kind of get it. Like, we want to be childlike, we want our childlike imagination is extraordinarily powerful. However, this masculine is confusing childlike with childish. I don't know if I want to channel this, but it's sort of like they can relate a little bit more to children than they can to adults, but I don't know if this is necessarily healthy. We do have the talisman. I have been picking up this synchronicity of keys to the city, because the masculine has been, oh, they've been a little bit bombastic. They have been pushing to the ends of the earth, trying to, sort of like they're trying to force their inheritance. They're trying to force things to happen their particular way, because some of them are still struggling with a God complex. Because it's like they're serving a God outside of themselves. We do the card of courage and safe travel, transmute, full moon. There it is. And at the top, we've got gratitude. Uh-oh. Friendship. Stormy. Um, the reason I said uh-oh, usually gratitude is like, oh, let's be grateful. Let's be joyful about all things and give thanks to all that's happening. No, something's leaving the masculine's life. They have been fighting tooth and nail to keep it, but it feels like it's going to leave anyways. They're going to spend so much time, energy, and money to the point of maybe not literal bankruptcy, but it's just going to be an absurd amount of energy that they're trying to force something to work out. But I feel like there's a bit of a divine intervention happening for the masculine. So I'm a little bit encouraged, but that said, I want to grab the Tarot of the Divine, but it is a fairy tale deck. You know, we do have the Knight of Coins at the base before I go to shuffle. So rather than looking into their karmic situation, um, let's do a little bit of a what the fuck, because I think that we need to have a look at what the fuck the masculine thinks is going on from their egoic perspective, what the fuck they think is actually, or what, you know, what the fuck is actually going on from their higher selves, because their ego and their higher self is extraordinarily disconnected. I am going to be kind of curious to see what the universe wants to reveal regarding this friendship, because if you have a friendship along with Stormy, that could sometimes be associated with speaking truths. But it's sort of like, if you've been praying for this masculine, if you have been hoping they could get their shit together, and you're really annoyed that they haven't consulted you or they ran away from you, the universe is sending them somebody. But again, this gratitude is sort of like what is leaving their life. So it is interesting. Soul flame and gratitude. Discover a lost part of yourself. Whatever is leaving their life is something that has sort of tricked the masculine into believing that they need to appease to this feminine figure. It doesn't literally have to be their mother. Heck, I've noticed a lot of people, they can develop feminine wounding from their fathers. So make sure that you don't get caught up in the concept of gender. Feminine is just nothing more than our ability to be open and receptive to what's going on around us. But when our feminine frequencies are um uh don't have that boundary around it, like we become super sensitive to, you know, yelling, to sounds, to other people's pain. And I feel like this masculine, they're becoming more and more hypersensitive to what's going on around them, but I get the sense there is divine intervention so that they can at least start feeling okay about embracing the change. So let's go ahead and dive in. Be asking, what the fuck do they think is going on? We'll also ask their higher selves what the fuck is actually going on. How is it that the masculine is going to have, what is the masculine going to have to release? Okay. And what is it that their higher self is trying to, I'm hearing the word force them to help them figure out. And then we will get sort of an idea on what their potential actions could be, regardless if you are connected to this person or not. When I say connected, pardon me, in contact with this person in 3D or not, you could be picking this up subconsciously. I will also point this out to you that I could be picking up on what you are going through in your 3D reality. So make sure you take the energy and place it with where it makes a lot of sense. I want you to really tune into your intuition so that you're aware that these messages are timeless. I could be talking about something that happened to you last week or something that will happen within a few weeks, but however long that this ripple effect that I'm picking up, because like this is a catalyst. There's something that's going to set something off with this lunar eclipse, but it is going to trigger this transformative transmutation, because the masculine really does need to shed a false idol out of their life. Before I go to cut, I do the Page of Pentacles. Because this person, yeah, Page of Pentacles, Six of Swords. Yeah, the masculine is sort of like, it's kind of like a text war. It may be literal for some, it may not be. There's something about the way that they're communicating, the way that they're trying to prove something. Actually, in some ways, this may only apply to one person, but there is a masculine out there where their mother is actually really worried about them. Like, no, mom, I'm fine. Everything is fine. And it's just like, great. How come when you say it with that particular energy, you worry me even more? Because this could be a nagging mother. This could be, a benevolent person as well. But the masculine is so inundated. They're actually quite disconnected, but they feel focused. They're just focused in a really weird direction. There we go. Five of Cups. They are ignoring their emotions. And if we recall from the lunar eclipse reading I did for you guys, I believe we did have another Five Cups energy. This feeling like, oh yeah, it's the incoming soulmate. Okay, so it sounds like the masculine is also going to have an incoming soulmate, as well as you guys. Like, again, that's the thing about our soulmate relationships, twin flame or not. We are actually mirroring so many people at the exact same time, but it manifests in so many different ways. But we do have a Nine of Coins. This masculine is suffering in silence. And the part is that, and I think because I see the Mother Mary healing, they actually do have people around. Yeah, the masculine has some feminine energies around them. They're actually quite worried about the masculine, but because masculine is so, they got to put on the show. They're actually coming across a little bit self-righteous because they're afraid of failing again. They're afraid of fucking up again. And I just have this, oh my God, just leave me alone sort of feeling right now. What the fuck do they think is going on? There we go. The Emperor. There is a profound sense of stubbornness. And they think they're doing the right thing. The masculine, fuck. Like, they're getting the right idea, but they're reacting not quite in alignment with their consciousness. I'm going to give them a B minus for trying. Like, there is some kind of effort. They have the wrong information, but their heart is kind of in the right place. They're trying to maintain their structure. They're trying to maintain whatever it is that they have created for themselves, especially for the masculines that have children. Maybe they have a mortgage, some kind of financial career obligations. Some of these masculines have been going back to school. Others have been dealing with financial setbacks. And because the masculine cannot embrace change, an emperor wants everything to stay the same as much as humanly possible. But if you aren't able to handle the flexibility and shift that comes with change, it means that you are still struggling with trauma, Because when you are happy, healed, and holistic, change happens and you can have your emotions about it, but you can just acknowledge the feelings, kind of sit within the emotion for a minute or two, and just accept and then release. This masculine keeps holding on to their emotions because they think they're supposed to. That's the catch 22 of trauma. I'm sure that you guys have struggled with this yourselves, where you feel this heaviness and this friction and this frustration, and you think you're supposed to hold on to it because otherwise you're considered to be weak. But really, the answer is let it go. It's actually safe to let go. What the fuck does their higher self, yeah, what is their higher self's opinion about what's going on? 10 of Swords. I only laugh because it's sort of like their ego is sitting there like, nope, I am steady, I am stable, and I'm going to keep everything the way it's supposed to be. And their higher self is, no, it's falling apart. It falls apart. Might as well. I kind of want to look into what is this 10 of Swords. Like, let's have a look at, like, we'll take time. Like, it's Saturday for me. Oh, okay, we're going to go for the rainbow um tarot by So. It's a bit of a queer deck because I feel like this masculine, if they're male identifying, they have to tune into their feminine side, which that, like, the moment I said that, I was like, no, I'm not like that, which I don't know what the fuck they would think that being like that is. They have some nasty ideas as to what being feminine is. Being feminine is weak, being feminine is lame, being feminine is gay. Like, first of all, wow. Come on, divine masculine, get your shit together. Their higher selves is like, I'm trying, bitch, I'm trying. Tell me a little bit more about this emperor. I just want to confirm sort of this level of stubbornness, but this 10 of Swords, I'm just more curious to see how successful the higher self is supposed to be, because, oh, I see it. There's some betrayal going on with the friendships. Oh, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad you're in my life. Oh, and then all of a sudden these words are coming out, and there's something about the friendships that they thought that they could depend on have completely lambasted. Like this is literally the two cards. Like friendship and stormy equals this 10 of Swords. Masculine's been betrayed. The problem, masculine's been betrayed. We do have the Magician at the base. I'm hearing honeyed words, manipulation. Hey, we're just playing the game together. What's at the top over here? 6 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords. They feel it's their godly obligation to continue to contribute to whatever this is supposed to be, and it's causing them headaches. It's causing them to freak out. I think a lot of them are not getting a good night's rest. Some of them are sleeping alone. For those that are partnered up with somebody, it's kind of like they'll put on the face as though it's like they're putting on the show that they're together with somebody, but it's more like a roommate with benefits. Partly because I think this masculine, their consciousness is, it's their consciousness feels under attack. And, it may feel as though if this masculine doesn't believe in ghosts or demons or the ancestors, they're wondering why they're seeing ghosts, demons, and ancestors. This could be a dark night of the soul. But it's more so a huge backlog with this particular full moon that is, it's impacting all of us, especially for those of you who have Piscean and Virgo placements within your chart, because there's a real ask to be mindful about how you're treating your body, how you're treating your home and your pets. It requires us to be mindful about our physicality, about what's going on, because everything is dogpiled onto the masculine. And this is their higher self. Again, their higher self is being relentless. Like, in some ways, if you have been ruthless in your frustration with the masculine, their higher selves are saying, first of all, can you please take a step back? Like even on that energetic level, because when you send energy to this masculine, even if it's out of frustration of what you believe to be love, it's ricocheting pretty bad on their end, and their higher self is saying right off the bat, let them do the work for themselves. There's an ask for you to not meddle even on an energetic level. So we got the Queen of Cups. Okay, oh fuck, Five of Cups. Yeah, there's somebody that they love and adored. Something's coming to an end. Like, this is a very violent image. Like, this is where they're getting so cut off that they're not allowed to enter into the boat. This masculine, they are drowning in their sorrows. Yeah, there we go, the Hermit. And you're not going to see this. Like, the masculine's so good at working with social media and how they speak to people. It's almost automatic the way that they behave. They have the pleasant persona. They have sort of like the automatic talk, small talk, right? Oh, how are you? How's it going? How's the weather? Oh yeah, those politics. Yeah, have you seen the stats? Yeah, like they're not actually there. They're just sort of like, it's like they replace their brain with a little parrot that just speaks random words. This masculine is very checked out of reality, even when it comes to their karmic situation. There we go, Five of Wands. They can't handle the conflict that's being thrown at them because it's making it over exacerbate whatever grief that they are feeling and whatever grief that they're being repressed. So how is their higher self, yeah, what is their higher self trying to get them to release? Queen of Swords. Mirroring liar, liar, pants on fire. Like, their higher self is having a cold, ruthless conversation with the masculine at this time about, I'm focused on the Six of Pentacles. There's something that it's sort of like, why are you fucking generous with this? And the masculine's like, I'm supposed to. That's what good people do, right? Like, look at the sun. See? Like the, remember I was saying earlier, like the masculine, it's like the lights are on and nobody is home. They've replaced their brain with like a little parrot that just talks about, just goes into small talk mode. This masculine is incapable at this time of deep emotional expression. And a lot of the work is being done inwardly, but there's something about their higher selves are trying to show them that they're being a huge hypocrite and they're lying. Like, they'll just show up for people because they feel sorry for them, not because they feel like it's a good match. Like, this person ignores their intuition because they feel sorry for a lot of people, but they haven't done the inner work themselves. They haven't done the shadow work to realize that they have grief, they have pain, they have insecurities, that all they're trying to do is rescue people. This is like someone who keeps rescuing so many animals, but they don't exactly have the home set up properly in order to care for these things. Like, this is someone, you know, in another life, they become a crazy cat lady. Oh, what do you have at the, oh, wow, where did the Fool come from? Huh? Because I flipped around and did things. So the masculine's not paying attention, but there is a brand new beginning when it comes to how the masculine perceives love, because that Five of Cups is right there. Let's get one more card from the Queen of Swords. I'm gonna get one more. Holy shit. Eight of Pentacles. Like, this masculine's trying to distract themselves with work, but they can't anymore. Like, the masculine keeps trying to shut down, and every time the masculine shuts down, the higher self is reactivating and getting their attention. So it's sort of like they're struggling with escapism. In this particular lunar cycle, this lunar eclipse is really asking us to consider, what do we have as an addiction? Where are we leaning in and treating things like a crutch, like money as a crutch, or having a roommate as a crutch? You know, even having a mother that is way too attentive. It's sort of like, it's cute if like a 15-year-old kid is really like close to mom, but it's not as cute when they're 51. It's this sort of like needy, grabby kind of attention seeking energy. And I think a few of you did have to withdraw yourself from the masculine because they were just like sucking you dry. Like feminine energy does provide the milk of life, and people who are really needy and traumatized, they'll take whatever they can get. They need support, but they need real support. They need professional support. Uh King of Cups. This is where the this is where their higher self is really encouraging them to start thinking about what they want out of life and what they want out of love and relationship. Their higher self, it feels like they're trying to get the masculine to be slightly selfish, and they feel really bad about being slightly selfish because they have friends that are mocking them publicly or being passive aggressive privately. You know, they could have friends that are trying to meddle or call them out. I really feel like there's been this sort of war with the masculine's friends about who is the how is it I like to say nobody gets a trophy for most traumatized, but the echo chamber masculine lives in, they're constantly trying to get everybody else's attention. It's like, look, I grew up this way. Well, you don't understand. I had that and I dealt with this. And those arguments never necessarily fly. The masculine does need some help, but they're getting it from the wrong source. Again, they're clinging to money. They're clinging to old ideologies. They're trying to prove something to a ghost. Can I get some more information on this, especially from the higher perspective? Because I'm hearing they have nowhere else to go except down. Like, if they're not willing to do the work, like, they're going to go down with the ship. And oh, interesting. Okay. Because, we do have, these friends are really throwing some shade at the divine masculine, and it's cutting them off and it's making them sink to the bottom. So they're forced to confront their emotions, like really confront those emotions. Um, and this is going to be even more difficult for any of the masculines that have a lot of fire and air placements, because water is a feminine frequency, being able to sink yourself in, feeling safe, even if you're in the water, in the watery depths of your emotions, knowing you can still breathe and feel safe in that space. It's very challenging for any of them that do have air and fire placements, because air and fire, I need to tread the water, I need to breathe the air, I need to get myself out of here. And the universe is sort of using the elements against the masculine in order to help them develop some semblance of emotional maturity, which starts with self-love. This masculine fucking hates themselves. Like, we got the Four of Wands. Like, this is about, party, celebrating, getting together. This can be a lot of that chatter with small talk. Like, sometimes the difference between, say, a Three of Cups versus a Four of Wands is, it's all about celebration, getting together. But the Three of Cups is more like, let's get together for coffee and talk about what's really going on in our life. But a Four of Wands is superficial. Let's party, let's celebrate, let's do a bunch of things. Like, yeah, there's some deep shit going on, but oh, don't ruin the party. This masculine is being confronted with, how many times they're partying and going out and socializing, how many people have gotten involved in their own private business. But this is sort of that energy of the masculine that keeps hosting all of the parties, thinking that they have to bring everybody in order to celebrate. But everybody they've brought into their kingdom is fucking betraying them. Like, it's like treason and paranoia and factionalization. Like, I'm hearing you're not missing much, babe. We Le Monde, the world. Like, this cycle has to end. Like, it really has to end. Nine of Cups. But the masculine, the real lesson that they have to learn at this time is, do they want to be happy? Are they actually satisfied with what's going on? Because they have a lot of cold, critical energies around them that are constantly complaining. Like, in some ways, it's like, you're only doing work. You never pay attention to me. Like, they have a very needy person around them. I'm sorry, I'm going to be there for you. Like, I can't really take this dialogue very seriously. Yeah, Page of Wands. The masculine right now is sort of all talk. They're dancing around the issue, but what's the given that they have this tension with their karmic situation that's constantly nagging and nattering at them, if this isn't a physical person, this could be sort of the illusion of who they think they should be serving in the back of their minds, they're the inner mother or God or a voice from the past that they were traumatized with, like especially if they were a small child. But what are the potential actions of the masculine as they are being sort of compressed through this lunar eclipse? Six of coins. It's interesting because we do the six of coins that showed up with the emperor, this ask of rethinking what is generosity, because this masculine has given away the kingdom and there's nothing much left to work with. Now, this particular six of coins, yeah, this is very uneven. So the masculine, they're at the point where they're giving away the last of what they have to offer. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't quite know yet. Let's have a look at this final outcome. They're still waiting. They still have the illusion that this blowout with the friends, whatever this group is supposed to be, this could be family, friendships, something else, even within their conscience, because that is the higher self sometimes kicking in. They still think that these relationships, they're going to get something out of it. They're still waiting for the transaction. They have this illusion, like, again, I'll see what cards come out, but as I feel into it, it's more like they have this illusion, this daydream, which, it's turning into a bit of a nightmare. They've given so much to these people, and they were really hoping that they could get something back out of it. This masculine has been over generous with their money, their finances, their time, their fucks given. They've lost themselves. They don't know who it is that they are anymore. Yeah, Seven of Swords, deception, in a lot of ways, getting away with saying certain things. Like this masculine, they'll have like a friend show up with all of their problems. The masculine's like, I don't know what to do. So they mentally check out and they just say words and then hopefully the person feels better, and then the person walks off. Masculine's like, okay, good. I survived through that. And then the person comes back and the masculine's confused because it's like, we just discussed this. I thought what I said was helpful. Why are you coming back to me, bitch? There we go. La Maison d'Eve, the tower. It's falling apart on this masculine because they're not being genuine. They're actually half-assing it because they have nothing left. Like, if this was a coin, like it's sort of like, how do you divide that up? Despite, our life where we live in the world of Bitcoin and sort of like, I got 0.00001/8 of a Bitcoin. And you're like, oh, great, great way to lose $5. Yeah. Six of Swords, King of Swords, the Chariot. So this is a choice. This is a choice. And I'm hearing the future is not yet written. The masculine has to decide something for themselves. What do they want for themselves? Because they keep trying to build a life based on what other people taught them, based on this construct of what love and peace is supposed to be. It's sort of like Mother Mary's energy is around the masculine, but they're too distorted to understand that this is a loving message because they think that if bad things happen, you're a bad person. They don't understand that tough love is still love. And this is probably going back to some poor disciplinary habits that the masculine grew up with. But in order for them to break free from this, and they have to have a very cold conversation with themselves, and they have to make the decision to move forward because this masculine is holding themselves back. They'll puncture their own tires so that they don't have to go to the party. Like that's how this masculine, they are still struggling with communicating healthfully and being honest with themselves with what's going on. All you can do is just let them be. Let them struggle through this because they've had so many people do all the work for them. The masculine needs to find their own energy in order to work their way out of this hellhole. Is there anything else that is worth noting? Okay. What is it that my viewer needs to know? Look at the Moonology deck here. Is there anything else that the viewer needs to know just in regards of having catharsis, compassion, healing, and forgiveness regarding the divine masculine? What do we got right here? A new romantic cycle begins. You know, this needs to be about you. This masculine, they're about to go through a new cycle when it comes to relationships, but they're going to be starting off from a point of pain and anxiety, but also still struggling with being strict with themselves in ways that it's not beneficial. But you are going to be entering into a new romantic cycle. Romance being, you know, it could be love, it could be welcoming a pet into your life. This could be pursuing like creative projects. I want you to be very open about what romance is supposed to be. We are going to be entering into Libra season quite soon. Keep an eye out for the higher vibrational friends and relationships that are coming your way. They are still there to help you navigate through the difficulties of your day-to-day life, but just consider the contrast of this particular masculine. Their friendships are fucked up and they're still stuck in a cycle where these karmic friends are going to continue to be their masters and teachers even through the chaos. But just welcome in something that is peaceful for you, something that is fair, and something that is balanced, because you deserve to have clarity and continuity, but also the calmness to know that when change happens, you can go with the flow and you can trust that you are following your own intuition. I'm just saying, wow. Well, whoever it is that you are, damn, I sincerely hope that this helped. Thank you so much for being here. If you found this insightful, please make sure to like the video, drop me a comment in the space below. Otherwise, when I see you guys at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries.